Namaste everyone. Planning the future of the child starts right from the conception of a woman. We see parents planning the child's future in terms of securing their finances for their education, career, and life. And recent times, we also see securing the health of the child via stem cell banking or umbilical cord blood banking. With any such new technology that comes, there is also associated misinformation or misconception. So, to know more about this umbilical cord blood banking, I have with me Dr. Shilpi Reddy, who is a consultant and head department of gynecology and obstetrics, KIMS Cuddles, Hyderabad. Namaste, madam. Madam, we see parents planning child's future. Earlier in the earlier days, we used to see parents planning their child future by saving money.
Yes.
Let it be for career, let it be for education, let it be for marriage or life throughout. In the recent times, we have been seeing couples planning their child's health, the health of the future, by preserving umbilical cord blood banking.
Yes.
So, with this new technology, we have a lot of misinformation around.
Yes.
So, talking about this, what actually are these cord blood stem cells, or what is this cord blood banking?
Yes. That's a good question, because ultimately your health is wealth. When it comes to wealth, any number of properties or cash or whatever that you preserve, tomorrow they will not be useful for your health in comparison to what you preserve something for your health. So, umbilical cord blood, the blood that is there, which is left over after the delivery in the cord and in the placental vessels, is the cord blood. When you talk about cord blood, this cord blood, the membranes, the cord tissue and the placenta all together have certain blood cells, certain cells which can multiply and form other structures. So, they are called totipotent, pluripotent, multipotent, all these kinds of cells are there. So, these stem cells can form any other cell in the body in that environment. If you want stem cells to form bone marrow, they will form bone marrow. If you want them to form into pancreas, they will form pancreas. If you want them to form hair follicles, you can have stem cells forming hair follicles. So, whatever said and done, stem cell banking is something that which is going into a waste, which is not useful. If you can save them and preserve them, it will be helpful for your health in future. Right now, we have so many diseases that have stem cells as an answer for treatment. So, if you talk about leukemias, blood cancer, any amount of blood cancer treatment, chemotherapy, whatever said and done, the therapy that is associated with stem cell treatment is very good in terms of giving cure, at par with bone marrow transplant. It is just like getting the transplant 10 on 10 match if you use for the same kid or the sibling or the mother or the father or the grandparents. So, cord blood is not only saved for the kid, it is saved for the siblings, it is saved for the parents and also grandparents in a public banking service. So, if it is life cell, they even do serve for the grandparents also. So, tomorrow if the grandparent is sick, maybe with leukemia or any other problem, if you want stem cells, if the grandchild has a stem cell stored on that child's name, the treatment up to the 20 lakhs is free of cost, and they will give a match, 10 on 10 match from the public storing domain.
So, doctor, we have heard about from your conversation that we have heard about the stem cells, which are the main source from the umbilical cord blood. So, doctor, these stem cells are not just available in the umbilical cord, but various other sources are
Yes, correct.
existing in the body.
Yes.
So, what are those other sources of these stem cells apart from the umbilical cord, and what are the various diseases that we actually can treat by using these stem cells?
Stem cell application therapies are widely increasing every day. We have lot of research in stem cell. Now stem cells are used for bone treatments, now they are used for cartilage treatments, they are used for blood and blood disorders, they are used in certain resistant malignancies, they are used in treatment of diabetes also. So cord blood is looked for anywhere there is no treatment. We are even seeing cord blood stem cells, which lot of cells that come from placenta as a treatment for brain conditions like paralysis, like leucopathies and encephalitis and all these conditions which cause a chronic problem. That also there is some kind of application and research that is going on. Research is actively going on in autism also. Autism, which is a behavioral problem, which has got no cure as such, other than decreasing the severity
Behavior
of it.
modifications.
Yes, people are looking forward for stem cells for treatment of autism also, and there are certain spastic paralysis, and there are certain types of localized paralysis like quadriplegia, hemiplegia, wherein these treatments are also looking forward for some kind of application in stem cells. So stem cell research is definitely ongoing, and anything that is promising in future will definitely be beneficial. Any investment that is done for a futuristic project, for a futuristic opinion which has science in it, definitely it will yield a better result. So today if you store your baby stem cells as for the health benefit of the child, it can also be used for the health benefit for the siblings, for the mother, for the father, for the grandparents also. In the long run, science is going to get further applications, further therapies, further inclusions into the system, wherein stem cells will be looked forward for any kind of therapy. And stem cell banking gives a 20 lakhs insurance that comes with the storing of those umbilical cord stem cells, which can be used for such therapies. And the positive part of it is it can be used worldwide. It is not only in the country that you store, it can be used for therapy in any given part of the world. It is their responsibility to ship the stem cells for application at a different place and different location also. So today if you deliver in Hyderabad and you move to US, your stem cell therapy, if you need stem cell therapy, it is the responsibility of the company that stores the stem cells to ship back to your place or wherever you want to go for treatment, to that place, so that you will go for the treatment as per your convenience.
Okay, very interesting. But madam, I think many of our viewers will still have a question that in the earlier days where stem cells were not stored or preserved, we still are able to treat them with the current science and technology, wherein we are able to derive or extract stem cells now, and we are still able to treat. So going forward in the future, we might progress into such an advanced technology wherein which we can extract stem cells and use them then and there itself. So
Yes.
in such a scenario, what do you think as a clinician that the need of storing or preserving blood cells right from now itself and investment
Yes.
on this,
Yes.
is it really holding a value, or is it only a commercial aspect?
Yes, stem cells can be removed even from tooth. Okay, a fallen tooth is also a source of stem cells. Bone marrow is also a source of stem cells. So even from a bone marrow, you can derive the bone marrow tissue. You can multiply that tissue and take treatment. But neither the tooth stem cells nor the bone marrow stem cells are larger in number. A placental stem cells is huge in number. So the kind of quality that you get from storing your placenta, it's the maximum number of stem cells that we get, and they replicate also into larger volumes than cord blood. When you can think about a tiny tooth which gives stem cells, the amount of stem cells that a tooth can give, the amount of stem cells that aspiration from either the sternum or the iliac crest that will give from the bone marrow. Imagine the blood quantity that we collect from an umbilical cord or the placental surface or tissue or the amniotic membrane or the cord, whatever said and done, the quantity of cells that we get is more. And when I was just talking about the application part, you don't get a 20 lakhs insurance with your tooth storage or your or your own sternum or iliac spine umbilical cord blood treatments. When you want a treatment, you have to spend on that treatment. I think nowadays there is some collection of the tooth also, and you get insurance with the tooth also, but the number of stem cells are very less, and the output that you can get from these cells is much lesser than the output that you can get from
The cord blood.
And cord blood is time tested, and it has been happening since years. And blood banks nowadays, cord blood banking, they have larger pools and with HLA typing done. So any point of time, if you want a match for your family, extended family, definitely you can get a match. Otherwise, you need not spend on your your bone marrow or the person's bone marrow. You're going to get an extended match, 10 on 10 match available with an insurance coverage 20 lakhs.
Yes.
That is the added advantage.
So it is definitely advantageous that preservation of stem cells is very much beneficial to the future of the child. So madam, with any technology that comes, definitely there is a misuse.
Yes.
We see in the societies. So in order to prevent such misuse and to prevent such any law of illegal activities associated with this technology, do you think there are any state regulations or central regulations on this cord blood banking?
Cord blood banking, they have their own set of rules and regulations. It is definitely regularized. The kind of quality parameters, the kind of temperature parameters that they need to regulate, the kind of certifications that they have to take, those minimum things are anyways in place for all the stem cell banking units. The only point is, when you are going for therapy, are you in safe hands or not? So any therapy done unit, you have to look into the quality check of that unit. If that concerned hospital has the quality check unit and an ethical committee to use stem cells for a certain therapy which is time tested and authentic, you have to go for such setups and such treatments only. Yes, there is a lot of research into stem cells, and on a research purpose itself they are doing a lot of treatments and therapies. They would prior inform you about these consequences, the therapies that they are giving you. The ethical committee definitely has to give a nod, and they have to go ahead with all these therapies under supervision only. There are certain stem cell therapies that are approved and not approved in certain places for endometrial thickness, for ovarian reserve enhancement. It is your self cells that they take, not the cord blood cells, the self cells from the sternum or the iliac spine that they collect, they replicate and use at a place when you have low fertility. Either it is the endometrium that is not coming up to a certain level, or your reserve for oocytes or the reserve for sperms are very low, that you are not able to give quality ones, or the number is less. But these are all under research yet, and they have to be certified, and basically what I have told you is the ethical committee has to approve these things. And when you are going for such tentative treatments with unknown unknown outcome significance, you will be told definitely, when you have no other option for endometrium that is not growing, an option that you can try is stem cells. That is what they will tell you. And once you are under a trial, definitely your ethical committee and all these parameters will be going on a trial basis itself. Nothing is therapy, established therapies. So stem cell, right now there are certain established therapies for leukemias. Leukemias, stem cells is one of an established therapy for 100% cure. That is no doubt.
Yes.
And some anemias also, that it is an established therapy for cure. So likewise, you have established therapies, you have under research therapies, you have experimental therapies, you have therapies of unknown significance, you have therapies which are under the
Trial.
process of trial. So you will be explained, and any treatment that you undergo will be under these processes.
So risks and benefits are all explained before the
Yes.
application of these stem cells,
Yes.
is what you say. So, madam, as an obstetrician, do you recommend these stem cell therapy or preservation of these umbilical cord blood to all the couples that you, I mean, and for couples who come for antenatal checkups to you, or do women hold certain criteria on saving these things? Or who are the ideal couple for opting this particular stem cell preservation?
As an obstetrician, people come to me in a belief that I am the decision maker for them. So it is my duty to tell them in detail about certain things that will have a value added service in their future. It is not only about their future, it is the future of their family, it is the future of the other siblings, it is the future which comes with a 20 lakhs insurance. Anybody would face financial crunches in terms of treatment aspect when you have to spend lakhs of rupees for a treatment of unknown significance. But yes, when you are in dire need of such things, if one sibling is affected and you're looking for a cure, or somebody in the family runs a problem and you're looking for cure, definitely we press on them that they take this as an opportunity to take care of their family and take care of an existing illness. If there is no existing illness, it is purely up to their will and wish that they can take. But yes, I would certainly recommend stem cells, because tomorrow we don't know what would our financial status be. Tomorrow we don't know how situations turn. But if you are capable of coming to an obstetrician like me in a corporate hospital, definitely you would be in a state that you would be able to take care of something like this as an insurance for the child on the long run.
Right.
There is no point in buying gold or jewelry or properties to the children. It is wise to invest in such things which would have some kind of a benefit and significance when needed. Not all need these problems, but
Yes.
it is just like an insurance which will help you in the time of need. If you are able to buy some 20 grams or 30 grams of gold for the child on a baby shower or on a cradle ceremony, it is better to do such things and invest and give it as a gift to the baby and gift to yourself and the family, which is going to be more secure and more fruitful in future. So I would definitely recommend such things which have good hope for future. People would talk good and bad about anything, but as a doctor, I have seen life through 20 years, and I have seen people suffer through many problems which were not anticipated, and wherein they had a lot of financial problems dealing with such situations. When finances are good, if you can invest in some cord blood group banking, like so at this time of delivery, even though it's a little more expensive at the time of delivery, because you have to cover the delivery and these things also, in the long run it is a security
It yields
to the
fruitful
family.
results. So, in view of these added advantages and benefits, and from the points that you have mentioned, that it is not recommended for all women, but yes, it is up to the will and wish of the couples investing on the health and future of the child. But although it is the will and wish of the couples, there will be certain couples who mandatorily have to go for this blood banking, stem cell banking, in view of their existing
Yes.
genetic diseases in the
Yes.
family or
Yes.
something. So, in view of all these, if a couple is prepared for going or adopting stem cell banking, when from should the preparations start, and how should a couple prepare for this cord blood banking, madam?
Usually, what we do is we have some silent months. I mean, where there is no active workup. Like, the third month there's an NT scan, the fifth month there's a TIFA scan, and eighth month there is a growth scan. There are some silent months where we just have some blood checkups and BP and weight checkups. At that point of time, maybe it's 16 weeks or 24 weeks or some 30, 32 weeks, when you have time during the checkup, not discussing any other important documentation or important finding, you should take time out, give introduction about these stem cells, give them option, give them some time to understand, give them some time to do their own research and R&D. So they will come to a conclusion. You should always leave the ball in their court. It is their decision. But yes, if out of experience, whatever you say, it will be beneficial for them. Nothing is mandatory though, but it's a good option, because we are in a country where you have different kinds of population, different stratas, different you know, different socio-economical status people. So I have seen somebody with a low socio-economic strata also, maybe 10 to 15,000 per month income group, also asking me for a cord blood banking saving, because they want to secure their child and not having any health issues which can be cured by cord blood. So it is just the wise thinking. I have seen people who are multimillionaires and billionaires who would think about 30,000, it's not waste of money, it is just waste of money, I don't want to spend on something which I don't know. So it is all on how you think about a process, how you prepare. It is just like buying an insurance for yourself. If you are, nobody would want to be sick and then use insurance, but insurance is something that will cover you in your harder times. So it is wise if you take it. It is okay if you don't take it. If you talk negative about it, it's your personal opinion. But as far as I think, anybody who has saved cord blood is double secure about their life, and research is right now running rapidly in the cord blood area. Definitely you will have lot of scope, lot of treatments coming up, and it's more than security that you have to look forward for.
So hearing from you, definitely we feel that there is a lot of scope about stem cell applications, and it is very much wise enough investing on this stem cell banking. So madam, in this technology, do you think it is available in all the facilities, or restricted only to few centers, or what exactly when it comes to centers such as KIMS?
At Cuddles, we've got cord blood banking. The facility is done by all our consultants. We have people who do counseling also. They are available in the OPD. They do their counseling to the pregnant women, whoever are directed towards them. If otherwise also, we counsel all our pregnant women for cord blood banking. It is their personal choice. Not only that, the advantage comes when you already need them. So when you need cord blood or for that matter stem cells, we ask to store placenta, because placental storage gives lot of, the volume of cells is more. And in fact, we did placental storage for very interesting couples. One with a quadriplegia, the pregnant woman was a quadriplegic. First child, she could not save her cord blood cells because she didn't believe in that concept. But then the second pregnancy she came though. I took care of the first pregnancy also, second pregnancy also I took care. She's having spastic quadriplegia from below the neck, and she has some palsies and all that also. They have gone for placental storage, and previously one child affected with leukemia, they have gone for placental storage. So there are certain group of people. One couple went for placental storage with a previous child of autism. So they are all under, right now, under therapies. So it's a good thing. And one couple had cord blood storage for the previous child is thalassemia. So they had another child and they did this cord blood graft to the elder. They had a daughter first. Then now she's cured. So the thalassemia, she's having cure. So she had severe grade of thalassemia, beta thalassemia major. Now it is under cure. Previously she used to need blood transfusions twice or thrice in a month.
Oh.
Now she's cured. She's totally free of the thalassemia. So there are so many added advantages. In my practice of 20 years, I have seen more than 60 or 70 therapies in front of my eyes giving good result. So, for a staunch person like me, I definitely believe in that concept. There are people who haven't seen any therapies in their clients,
Yes.
so it would be difficult for them to believe. If some pregnant woman approaches them, they would give their opinion. If some pregnant woman approaches me, I would give my opinion, because I have seen people use that and had advantages in their life.
Yes, that's very interesting. So experience has given much more enlightenment for us to believe in this superior technology. So, madam, how safe is this collection of stem cells? Is it painful for the collection of this thing?
Absolutely not. It's a process of collecting the blood after handing over the baby, and there is no additional pain associated with it at all. Till the placenta comes out, you can collect the blood. Once the placenta is out, also the extra blood that is there in the placenta, the collecting agent will collect it, and it is safe for the mother and the child. There is nothing out of safety in this. Pretty much which is going for waste, we are just collecting and keeping it. And on the long run, there are no side effects, nothing. The storage conditions are liquid nitrogen minus 172 degrees. That is the number of stem cells, that the yield which they've got. They will check that. All viral markers, all infectious diseases screening is done before storing itself. So every safety aspect is followed, definitely. And you need a lot of experience to talk about these things. I know, 70 to 80% obstetricians are devoid of all these things, because they practice obstetrics. I practice obstetrics with an extended vision. So that is more important, because anybody can deliver a child. You have to deliver the future.
Yeah.
So if you can deliver a good futuristic child with a good bright future and ensured future, that is the difference that you will make from being a normal obstetrician to an obstetrician associated with your family and family culture. So I believe in this holistic care, and the care that you have to give as a family to the couple when they come to you. So any technology that is there, I keep myself updated. I keep myself running behind a lot of updates, so that when you have to talk to people, you should be updated, and your a patient should also be updated on the knowledge.
So, doctor, definitely we hear from you that you're quite updated with regards to the stem cell technology, and this is very much beneficial to all of our viewers who have been viewing this particular video. So on a concluding note, so we also hear about public banking and private banking.
Yes.
So what are these public banking and private banking, and how safe is the storage? And on a final note, what should a couple ask an obstetrician about the stem cell banking?
As far as public banking and private banking is concerned, both the targets is taking care of the person in need. Private bankings have additional standards, they have their own rules and regulations and all that. On the safety note, they certify that private banks are much safer. Public banking is not yet out in India, yes, but in other countries public banking is there, which is also safe there, because they have the numbers that are needed, and anybody can opt into the public banking also. In India, we have private banking. Private banking with their own set and rules and regulations. You have a choice to choose the private banker. The regulations that they have to undergo, the safety precautions, the building conditions that they store the stem cells, all these things have to be kept in mind. So when you have to choose for the stem cell banking, you have to check on few criteria, whether they have certifications, whether they are accessible, whether their quality norms are met, whether they are present in and around the place, whether the storage capacity is safe, and what are the the therapy options that they have given to people, and how were the ratings that they have given for these people when they have approached for therapy units. So these things matter a lot, because these certain small things make a lot of difference. And the larger the numbers that they hold, definitely the better kind of service that they can give. Because if somebody needs some from your family, if they have to give a same matching of the
Stem cell.
stem cells, they should have a larger base.
Pool.
So if you have a larger pool, definitely you will be able to get a 10 on 10 match. So when you're choosing, choose wisely. Whichever cord blood bank has number of people, there should be local number of people, people who have stored their samples there, and their credibilities are all online anyways.
Yes, thank you so much, doctor, for bringing out a lot many facts about technology where misconceptions and misinformation is very much rampant and revolving around this particular stem cell banking. So, viewers, this is all about the various facts of umbilical cord blood banking or stem cell banking. So, know the facts and the once in a lifetime opportunity that you can gift your child is by giving or preserving the stem cells. Thank you so much.